What's good, everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to Just Our Opinion with Robin.
And Vaughn,
How are you today, my dear?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Hold on, I gotta fix something. I don't like it. I gotta get up and fix it because I don't like it.
And what's that?
I didn't like it. I had to fix it.
Mm,
And it's done. You out here all studious looking today?
well, let my inward scholarship appear outwardly.
Yo, what now?
Inward scholarship.
Your inward scholarship?
Hmm
I thought you said your inward scholarship.
And that's how we lose viewers and get canceled. Thank you very
That's
much.
what I thought you said. I didn't say it. That's what I thought you said.
Mm,
Anyway, welcome to Just Our Opinion, where Robin is mostly unfiltered. I have not slept in a couple days, and it's been an interesting week. My husband has secured all the ceiling fans in the house and all of the shower rods and put them to good use with me this week. So I ain't slept much. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna ask why didn't you sleep, but okay.
Sorry, I haven't slept much this week. So y'all gonna
No.
gonna get whatever y'all get out of me this week.
It's actually funny because I was talking to my health coach today for my job, and I was talking about I haven't had any sleep, and she was like, "What can you do to improve it?" And I'm like,
I don't wanna,
that's,
ma'am.
that's a difficult decision.
Ma'am, nobody wants to improve my sleep.
No, we talked about getting the kids to bed earlier so we can start things earlier.
I mean, I guess that can improve it. I guess.
Yes. Start a little
So
earlier.
you was on the phone talking to your health coach about you not sleeping because you're screwing your wife all night?
Well, I didn't exactly give out all those details, but
If she was talking about getting the kids to bed early, you gave her enough detail.
anyway,
I just got in. I just got
my
questions.
life problems I have.
I told you get kicked out of the men's meeting. Poor Vaughn. Poor Vaughn.
Poor me. Yes.
Anyway, today we are talking about toxic behaviors.
Yes.
And I am so glad we started off in the vein that we did because to be quite honest, that could be considered a toxic behavior.
And specifically, what are you talking about?
We gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. But today we are talking about toxic behaviors. One of the things before I get started that I want to encourage everybody to do is to check out the Taste of Black Spirits Facebook and Instagram pages. All of the updates for this weekend's Taste of Black Spirits Brooklyn are being updated. Pictures and everything are being updated this weekend for Taste of Black Spirits Brooklyn. Team, I'm sorry I couldn't be there this weekend. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I know Brooklyn is about to go down just like we take over every city. I love you guys. I know y'all about to do it and do it big. Enjoy Brooklyn. That concrete jungle is hot and annoying, but I know y'all got it. I know y'all gonna hold it down. So everybody make sure y'all check out Taste of Black Spirits on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure y'all check out Lazar Favors, Deshaun's page on Facebook and Instagram for all the updates on Taste of Black Spirits Brooklyn for this weekend. Make sure y'all check them out. And now that we've done that,
Now you're back to the professor.
now I'm back to you running around here looking all studious. So we're talking about toxic behaviors. And one of the reasons we wanted to discuss toxic behaviors is I've noticed that a lot of you don't even realize y'all relationships is toxic.
Yeah, that's true. I think,
Like, I think everybody else realize y'all relationship toxic, but y'all don't.
or just the amount of toxic stuff that is promoted, on social media, Facebook. Usually the videos that have the really horrible things in relationships or that people do get promoted, and people have a fandom for toxicity and ratchetness.
So speaking of toxicity and ratchetness, for Father's Day, it's going viral that a young lady sent a group text message to all 5 of her baby daddies. In a group text message to all 5 of her baby daddies. And the text message said, "Happy Father's Day, my N-words." And you could tell by the emoji she had next to. First of all, she had all of their names programmed in her phone as BD, and then their number, and then emojis next to it. So some of them had like one of them had like a poop emoji, and then whatever color fist he was. So like you had the white fist and the black fist, and then there was like literally all five of her. Like I think she screwed the United Nations because there were no two colored fists alike.
You know what? I want to know how there was a 4 and a 5. I'm just saying, if you meet someone and she got 3, how'd you become number 4 or number 5?
I don't know. Maybe she was hiding the kids. I don't know. I'm not in her coochie. I don't know what she got going on over there. But my point is that the first bit of toxic behavior is how she had the numbers program. You know what I'm saying? And the second bit of toxic behavior is the fact that she sent all 5 of her baby daddies a text message.
A group text.
A group text.
A group text. Not individually, but a group text.
A group text that said, Happy Father's Day, my N-words. Baby daddy number 4 went off. Baby daddy number 4 was mad as hell. He went off. You always on some BS. This is what I be talking about. Blah, 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 blah. I think it was baby daddy number 3 that was like, he did like the dead emoji and was like, man, you wild.
No, he said you cooked.
Yeah, you cooked. You know, I'm with baby daddy number 2 though. And I commented on the post when I saw it, and I said, I need y'all to understand that baby daddy number 2 is healed. Not only is he healed, he probably with the woman he loves, and he ain't got time for her. Baby daddy number 2 literally commented back, and all he said was TY.
Yep.
That was all he said. And what people don't understand is how much that speaks for itself. He didn't even entertain her crap. He didn't entertain the 2 messages before his. Thank you. And moving on.
I must only saw a partial screenshot with the responses because I didn't see the how she had them programmed in or anything with the colors and stuff like that. But I just saw the bubbles with the thank you and the you cooked and you always on some wild stuff.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that his response showed maturity. Because actually within that screenshot, I think it was 1, 3, and 4.
It was 4, 3, and 2.
4, 3, and 2.
That
so
had
we didn't
responded.
see 1 and 5
Yeah.
in that shot. But yeah, no, I definitely think that that does show that he is matured and healed. With the other 2, obviously, we're a little easily triggered.
Well, number 2. You got to think about it. The fact that he was number 2 means he's been, other than the one that was before him, he's been dealing with her longer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's been dealing with her longer than them 2 have.
Yeah, because just even if they're a year apart.
It's still a year longer.
But most likely, hopefully, it's a couple years periodically in between them. So
right.
He's probably closer to 10 years in with dealing with her.
Dealing with her. And her mess and her drama. She didn't just get this way.
Yep.
So he used to her bull.
But, the other thing that speaks volumes is chances are she does not have a solid relationship with the male in her life. Because at that point, I don't think, that would have been something she would do, hopefully, or tolerated by him.
You saying there ain't no number 6 somewhere brewing?
Somewhere brewing ain't no number 6. So
number 5 ain't still in the picture, or number 6 ain't brewing.
Exactly. Number 5 definitely ain't in the picture. I mean, you ain't gonna text the other dudes on the same text and he living with you or you with him.
Right. So number 6 ain't somewhere brewing.
So yeah, it's no number 6. People done figured out she for the streets.
You got 5 baby daddies. Yeah, you for the streets. I don't care if you got 5 baby daddies and 5 kids or 5 baby daddies and 10 kids. You got 5 baby daddies, you for the streets.
Well,
you definitely for the streets. Throw her back out there.
We're not even talking about ex-husbands. We're just talking about baby daddies.
If you got 5 ex-husbands, you for the streets.
I mean, yeah, but there shows a little bit more
Give me one circumstance where you would have 5 ex-husbands. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'm still waiting.
They could have been declared legally dead and you moved on with your life.
5 times, you a Black
5
Widow.
times.
I'm putting your ass in jail. If you done had 5 men die on you,
No. You thought they died, like, camping trip, disappeared in the woods and came back, and they were declared legally dead after a year or two.
You are the problem here.
That you pack them up and send them off camping at the same campsite. And then
what's even worse is you not good at finishing the job.
She might not try to finish the job, but, things happen.
No. I need you to give me one.
They could have took separate flights from a Caribbean vacation, and his plane
5
crashed
times.
on a deserted
times.
island in the middle of the sea.
And
what would be,
I guess what would be worse is there are 5 different suspicious situations. Like one of them was a plane crash. One of them was a boating accident. One of them got lost in the woods. Like 5 different.
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like she tried to get it right each time.
So you're attributing that there was some foul play. I'm just saying, random circumstances of life could have just happened, and they were gone for a year and a half, and declared legally dead.
First of all, you got to be dead. You got to be gone 7 years to be declared legally dead. 7 years. 7 years.
I really hate how you know that number.
I do.
That's we'll talk about that toxicity later.
I know the number. I know how long you have to be missing to be declared legally dead. It's 7 years before your family can cash out your insurance policy, before your spouse can legally be considered a widow, all of that. It's 7 years.
How long have you had this knowledge?
What? For at least 9 years.
Okay.
Almost 10.
Got it. Duly noted. She on here one week crying, talking about he got lost in the blizzard and possibly attacked by mountain lions. And all we had was his bloody slipper.
I don't know why he went out in that meat suit. I don't know why he had all them open beef jerky in his pocket. Anyway, we're talking today about toxic relationships and toxic traits. That's what it is. Not necessarily toxic relationships, but toxic traits.
Yes.
I would say if you're dating somebody and on your first date, they are extremely aggressive with the server.
Okay, I could see that as a red flag. Yes.
Like that's a toxic trait. Like, why you so angry because she brought you au gratin potatoes instead of mash? Like, did that really ruin your night? Like,
yeah, I mean that I could see that. Someone who, when they have the opportunity to talk down to someone, takes advantage of that. With no justification. And really, let me say, there's probably not much of a justification, especially when you in public, to talk down to anyone. I mean, someone could ruin your order, or someone can even be rude to you, but again, having maturity just to kind of walk away. So
see, I'm not gonna go that far. We're not gonna go that far. What you're not gonna do is act like there's no reason to cuss somebody out in public, and
I think it
not
depends.
Gonna do.
I think it depends, really.
Y'all, let me tell y'all something that happened yesterday. We was out. Was that yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
It might have been the day before yesterday. It was one of them days.
No, it was yesterday.
We was out, right? And I'm walking in front of him, and I'm holding our son's hand. And he's walking behind me, holding our daughter's hand. It's an older lady and her husband walking maybe 20 or 30 feet behind us. And it's a girl and one of her friends, or I don't know, whoever she was with, and they're walking the opposite way past us. I watched this girl stare him down. I'm talking stare him down. Tapping her friend, pointing at him, giggling, staring him down. To the point where the older lady looked at me, I looked at her, she tapped her husband. Like, you could tell she was telling her husband, like, if that was you, I'd have cut up. Like, that's how you could tell the conversation she was having with her husband went. Like, you could clearly tell that was the conversation they was having, because she looking at me like, you go off, I got your back. Like, you know how women look at each other like, my girl, like, you go off on her, I got you. We there, I got you, okay? You know, so I turned around and I looked at him and I said, yo, like, this is wild. Like, this is crazy. And I decided at that point that I'm going to start carrying around 2 purses. I'm going to carry my purse with my regular stuff in it. And then I'm going to carry around a purse with real smooth rocks in it. Nice.
Right. David.
Sass smooth rocks. Because what I realize is you can't run around and pew people, right? However, rocks fall all the time. You don't know, buildings come apart. All kind of stuff happen. Weird things happen every day. And what I decided was that if I'd have had a rock, I'd have hit that girl right in the head with a rock. That's what I decided. I'd have hit her right in the head with a rock. I'd have felt really good about it. So I'm going to start carrying around rocks.
I feel like that's a toxic behavior.
How's that toxic?
Because, one, I mean, her staring was rude. I initially saw her, had eye contact, and then went on about my business, and then you told me that she kept looking. So I get that. But at the same time, it's looking. It's not like it's like, hey, good looking, or cat called, or anything like that, So.
That's toxic behavior.
To want to throw rocks at people, yes.
That's toxic.
For looking like that. You know how often I go out and people and men stare at you? They'll be walking and turn their heads, turn around, and I see them.
It's your fault for not wanting to carry around rocks.
I guess,
How many times have I told you you're a better person than me?
Okay.
Quite often, haven't I?
When it comes to topics like this,
you're talking to the same person whose therapist told her that as soon as she see her on the news, she gonna burn all evidence that she ever treated her. My therapist told me that. This is no joke, people. My therapist looked me dead in the face and said, the first time you make the news, I'm burning all your files. I never treated you. I don't even know you. I can't even get a temporary insanity plea.
Probably not.
Because my therapist going to act like she don't know me.
That, and you already told the world you're going to carry around a purse with rocks to throw at people. So makes that defense a little hard.
Sir, listen. You ever heard somebody talk about throwing around rocks? When me and him first met, I told him that...
See, it's just gotten progressively worse.
When he and I first met, I told him that if we ever broke up, I would go buy a bunch of tomatoes and let them rot. Because, when tomatoes rot, they get really, really soft and gooey. And I would let them rot. And then I would follow him around. And when he go out on dates with new women, I would just, throw rotten tomatoes at them.
Why I gotta be going on dates with new women? Why can't I just find one and be happy?
And then she gonna be the victim of rotten tomatoes all the time. Didn't matter to me whether it's the same chick or a new chick. I don't care.
I guess if you always follow me throwing rotten tomatoes, they might
the
not
likelihood
stick.
of you having one is gonna be slim.
Pick them up and tell them put this poncho on. No, don't trust me. Just put it on.
Tomatoes stain, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that could be considered a toxic behavior. However,
I do feel like you fantasizing about the breakup of a new relationship ahead of time and what you're going to do when it breaks up could be toxic.
Sir,
that's just my thoughts.
Listen, you ever seen that meme? Or it was like a trend on TikTok where it was like, my man wanted somebody that's gonna pray with him, and then they was like on their knees praying together, and the girl was like, "Dear God, if he can't be with me, let him be with you." I feel that.
No, I like the one where they be like, Lord, please remove all the troubles out of his life, and she get up, say amen, and then fall over.
Really?
Yeah,
That's funny to
that
you.
was funny. Yes.
That's a toxic trait, man.
Why is that a toxic trait?
Because all the troubles in your life, you gonna attribute your girl to all the troubles in your life.
I didn't make the video. That's what the artists and the people who made that did.
But you thought the shit was funny.
I did think it was funny. I did.
You know what I think is toxic? y'all wanna know what I think is a toxic trait? Y'all, okay. Let me tell you what I think is a toxic trait. I think it is toxic for a guy to sit up and practically act like his wife can't tell him no when it comes to sex. I think that's toxic.
That he act like his wife can't tell him no. When it
Yeah,
comes to
like
sex?
she's not allowed to tell him no.
Do such women exist?
Really? I think that's toxic.
What's toxic about it?
Her body, her choice.
So she got a choice to tell him yes or no.
So then why he went around acting like she can't tell him no?
Maybe because she hasn't told him no.
Ain't that a bitch? You know what? We're going to talk about this with our therapist. Immediately. All right. Toxic traits.
Toxic traits. I think one toxic trait that could be in a relationship is someone who does not apologize for things that they do. Right?
Oh, that's definitely a toxic trait.
Okay.
And what I've learned is that's a hard one to break, too.
I mean, well, I think a lot of toxic traits can be hard to break. I mean, whether it's, again, not taking accountability, not apologizing, people that, sometimes lie, that those are all toxic traits that, take time to get rid of and overcome. So
how does one help their spouse break a toxic trait of not apologizing or not taking accountability or something like that? Like, how do you help your spouse through that toxic trait? Like, is that a toxic trait that you help your spouse through? And if so, how do you help them through that?
So I would probably say, I mean, obviously it's something they have to decide they want to do and work on. But at the same time, I think reinforcements, you can have positive things for, hey, I really appreciate you apologize, not, condemning or gloating over them if they do apologize for something or, take responsibility. Those are probably some things that you can do. You want to, I hate to use the term, I know it's common, but, make a safe space, right? For someone to apologize. I think those are some things that you can do to help facilitate it. The other thing is, again, pointing out, hey, you were wrong. You should have apologized. This hurt me.
I guess for me, though, why does an apology need a safe space, though? Like, what I mean by that is certain things are supposed to go without saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, some people, depending on who you're dealing with, they may, the person who made the offense and apologizes for it, I'm just saying, maybe when they do apologize, the other person, badgers and beats them with it, or reminds them of what they did or something. I'm just kind of giving an example. You asked a question. I'm just kind of giving some hypotheticals, just like you asked about, how do you wind up with 6 ex-husbands? They all go out into meat suits in the wintertime in the forest.
I guess what I mean is, when I say that apologizing should go without saying and you shouldn't need a safe space for that, I mean that you as an adult should know, if I'm wrong, I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So why does a safe space need to be created for a person to have adult behavior?
Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, they could have an issue with it because maybe the person they're with has, used that as something as a weapon later in the relationship or at that point in time. I'm just giving an example of, what may need to be done, to help someone apologize. That's all.
I guess I just, for me, an apology, you learn apologies very young in life.
Not everybody, but I mean, again, you're asking why someone who chronically does not apologize for something, there could be reasons why they do it. They could just be stubborn and not want to, you know. There's a lot of reasons people don't do that.
And then you touched on accountability as well. Somebody, a toxic trait is somebody that doesn't take accountability as well. And I do wanna kind of deep dive into that one because that's another one that is very prominent as a toxic trait in men and women. So I definitely want to deep dive into that one as well because there's a lot of people running around just clearly and plainly just not taking accountability for their actions. And that could be as simple as not admitting when they're wrong all the way up into, and it could also look like not apologizing, right? Not taking accountability could also look like not apologizing, but it also could go as far as just not admitting you've done something, not admitting you've wronged somebody, or, just not admitting you did something wrong. Hell, it could be just as simple as, I asked you to close the door. You didn't close the door. We come back, the door open, and, you sitting there.
Squirrels in the house.
Right, and squirrels in the house. And now you sitting there looking at me like I don't know how the door open. Well, shit, it's only two of us here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how you going to sit here and tell me you don't know how the door is open? I walked out first. You walked out second. I told you to close the door. You go sit here and tell me you don't know how the door open. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be. And unfortunately, there are people that taking accountability is just that serious with them. It's just that wrong.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? Like, how do you get past somebody that just cannot seem to take accountability?
I don't know. I mean, I think, again, people have to make choices to want to change to better the relationship. And I think that's something, the individuals have to decide upon for themselves and for the relationship they're in. And again, talking about this from not just an individual standpoint, but, being in a relationship with someone, you just really, again, I think part of it is sometimes, reminding people you were wrong, you did this, there's not an excuse for it, can help. And I think, again, the language, that you're using or how you interact with them when you're asking for the apology or take, to let them know they should take accountability, can play a factor into it. But at the end of the day, I mean, people ultimately have to decide, okay, do I value this person? Do I love them? And do I want to keep this relationship? And what do I need to do to change to be better?
So, I think another red flag that people tend to really ignore, that I think should really stop being ignored, and people really need to start honing in on and paying more attention to, is when you run into somebody. Damn, I kind of lost my train of thought.
You reading Stephanie's comment?
I was reading Stephanie's comment. I was reading Stephanie's comment and completely lost my train of thought. She completely messed me up because I was reading that dang comment and completely lost my. And it was a good doggone thought too. And I completely lost my train of thought messing around with her and that doggone husband of hers.
So I will say, okay, so what is kind of taking a side note as we kind of dabbled into throwing rocks at people for looking at your significant other. What is the most outrageous situation you've kind of found yourself in like that? So, here Stephanie shared with us that, she had on a nurse uniform. Her and her husband were at the store. Some guy was looking at her uniform, and he loudly was like, "Hey, what the fuck is he looking at?" And she told him to calm down. "Hey, honey, I'm going home with you. Don't worry about it." And she had on, was she saying?
Well, and what's crazy is you got to understand that we're not talking about that she had on scrubs. She's talking about her church nurse's uniform. So we talking about the long white dress with the buttons up the front.
Yeah.
Like we talking about her church nurse's uniform. Like, and I don't know if you've ever been to a Baptist church, but the church's nurse's uniform in a Baptist church look like a
Old
church's
school.
uniform from like a 50s movie.
Or old school nurse uniform.
Yeah, it's an old school nurse uniform from
Yeah.
like a 50s military movie. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah. So.
Like ain't nothing showing. Like nothing is showing. It's buttoned to your throat. It's so I'm kind of with her husband on that one. Like I think I'd have cut up too, because the amount of imagination that your punk ass is using to be staring at my wife and this goddamn sheet that she wearing with buttons.
So she said he was looking to see what church was on her jacket. Was trying.
No,
to
he
read
was
that.
not. He was looking at them big old titties Stephanie got. Stop playing with me.
Then you can't.
Stop
Then
playing
you
with
can't.
me.
Then you can't be mad at her husband for cutting up. Then
I
if that's
said
the case.
I'm with her husband.
Oh, okay.
I am with her husband. He was looking to see what church was on her nurse's uniform, while Stephanie titties 57 triple quadruple F and shit. No, he was not. He was not reading no goddamn. You know how big the name is on Stephanie's chest, as big as her titties is. Get the fuck out of here. But listen.
How do you know?
Listen,
how do you know
listen.
that? How do you know that lady wasn't
Listen.
staring at me because she read the pen and
Listen.
said, "Ask me how to
Listen.
ask me about Jesus."
Listen, sir. I'm with Greg. He was about to meet Jesus. I'm with Stephanie's husband on this one.
So the most
I was about to personally introduce him to Jesus. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy me a gun and name it Jesus. I'm gonna get it engraved on the side.
Jesus.
I'm gonna buy me a gun and name it Jesus. And then every time somebody cut a damn fool, I'm gonna ask them if they want to meet Jesus. That's what
Is that
yeah.
Jesus or Jesus?
It depends on how you pronounce it.
So, I think one of the funniest
Don't be
things
telling
I
me to
remember,
stop. You know I'm right. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my story, most outrageous thing, we were first dating, we were walking, and we were outside, it was summertime, and we were walking down the street, and these two guys were there. And we walked by, I could see them just looking at you, and they, kept looking. And remember, one of them started singing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
So the most outrageous one, I think, happened to me today.
Today?
Today. I was working.
Now, you're supposed to be talking about your significant other, not you, by yourself.
Yeah, but this shit was ridiculous, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was working today. I was at a store doing a tasting for Island John. And I had on what I have on right now, except for I had the jacket buttoned.
mm-hmm.
And turned around and looked. And he said, I don't even drink vodka, but I swear I will drink everything over there, including her. Wait, sir, what? I don't even want to pour this shit no more. So I got to be professional and smile. You know what I'm saying? I poured him the drinks and, told him about the vodka and everything. He was like, you know what? Yeah, it's real good. How much is it? I told him how much it was, and he was like, I'm buying it. It don't even matter. I'm buying it. Okay, well, here, take your bottle. And he was like, I'm saying, okay, listen. If I buy another one, will you drink it with me? No, I will not. I absolutely will not. And he was like, I mean, I usually drink tequila. That's on you. I'm allergic to tequila. He was like, are you serious? I said, yes, I'm allergic to tequila. I can't drink it. And he was like, if I can be with you, I'll never drink tequila again. I promise you that. If you're allergic to it, I don't want it. The guys in the store at this point is in tears laughing. Because it's harassment at this point.
I kind of wish I was there.
It's harassment at this
I
point.
might have been with the guys in the store laughing.
They laughing. It's harassment at this point. Sir, if you don't just go pay for that bottle and get out my face. Just go pay for the bottle.
I think he was lying about not drinking vodka, too.
I don't care what he drank. He bought the bottle, though. So, I mean, at the end of the day.
See, you should have told him, if you buy 10 bottles, I'll write my number on each of them, and you figure it out.
Right. You got to arrange. I'll write a number. Like, I'll write all 10 of my digits on each bottle. You just got to figure out what order it go in. That's a good one. You got about 10 bottles, though. Because you need area code and phone number.
10.
That's a good one.
I mean, you could sell them 7 and definitely would probably never be able to call you, but I'm just saying, you know.
That's a good one. It's definitely a good one. That was a good one.
So what point did you tell him you was married?
As big as my ring is, I didn't think I had to.
So you had your hand in your pocket or you poured,
I don't even have pockets. This outfit don't even have pockets.
You had your suit coat button, you was pretending like you was Napoleon.
Really? Really? Shut your mouth. Dang, Stephanie and her big titties and her husband cutting the food made me forget my train of thought. Messed me up too. I had a good point to make.
You got 16 minutes to figure it out.
But I had a really good question about about somebody's toxic trait and what do you do about it? Like, I had a really good one, like, because I really was going, like, what do you do with that toxic trait?
And we got off on enough topics. I completely forgot how you started out too. So.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate.
So I'll be of no help to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Can honesty be a toxic trait?
Honesty?
Yes.
Too honest or not honest enough?
I'm thinking too honest.
It could be toxic to be too honest. Because sometimes it's not even necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be toxic to be too damn honest. Like, cause was it necessary? Cause there's a difference between honesty and really did you have to say that? Well, I mean, she do smell like shit. Like, but did you have to say that? I can't see that bitch lace front. I know that ain't her hair. Like, did you have to say it though? You know what I'm saying?
So you're gonna go with yes. You can honesty can too honest. Too much of honesty can.
Yes,
can be,
like that could be a toxic. Okay. Here's a scenario for you, right? You have the too honest person, and nobody thinks it's a toxic trait, right? Mm-hmm. He goes out with a young lady, right? She goes on this date. When she goes out on this date, she thinks she fly, right? She out here killing them, right? However, this young lady is killing them according to her budget. So she got her outfit from Shein. She got her shoes from whatever the new equivalent of Payless is. I don't really know at this point. She has synthetic hair in her head. Her makeup is Wet n Wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's put all that stuff together, right? So she goes out on a date with this guy. I mean, she's put together, but she's bare minimum what she on her budget put together, right?
Okay.
But she goes out on this date with this toxically honest guy that nobody think is toxic because he's honest, right? And as they're sitting at dinner, he looks at her and say, I mean, yeah, baby, you fine. You definitely fine. You know, I could get you together. You know, I mean, as soon as I get you out that $5 ass outfit, yeah. You know, I could do something with you. As soon as I get you out that cheap ass Shein outfit, you be cute as hell. Okay, did you really have to say that? You could just say she cute. Okay, keep going. They taking a cute little walk in the park. Because she digging him. And she like, you know what? We need to go sit down somewhere. He like, oh, I understand, baby. Your feet hurt. You're a little tired. She like, yeah, he like, you know, your feet wouldn't be hurting if you ain't had them cheap ass shoes on. I mean, the fuck, dog. Did you really have to say that? But he's just honest.
You know what?
I'm not done. I'm not done. They about to go see the fireworks. It's almost the 4th of July. He done took her downtown to the Detroit fireworks. He got her somewhere, you know, where they got real close seats too, right? The fireworks poofing over their head, right? He look at her and say, nah, baby, you might want to be careful. One of them hot things come out, it's gonna burn that synthetic ass hair on your head. Did you need to say that? You honest for no goddamn reason, sir.
Well, see, I don't necessarily view that as being honest as it is just petty at its core. It's just pettiness, really. It's not, you know, yeah, you might be saying that she's got cheap makeup on and inexpensive shoes and stuff like that, but the heart of the comments and what's being said is just being petty and hurtful. You know, the Bible talks about speaking the truth in love, right? So what in that example you gave is not really speaking the truth in love. You know, he's just being petty, making comments at her, taking digs. That's all.
Okay.
But let me say this: I do think that Shein and Fashion Nova, I like some outfits they have. You bought some stuff from there before.
Yes.
And you know, they may not be necessarily the highest quality, but they work for what they work for.
That's because when I buy stuff from Shein and Fashion Nova, you make me bad because you have specific stuff in mind.
What do
you make me buy stuff from Shein and Fashion Nova because you be like, I want you to buy that cheap ass dress because I done got time for you fussing at me when I get something on it, when I rip it, when I break a button.
What?
Don't worry me. You know what the hell you're doing. Don't come for me. Oh, I just remembered.
Nobody came for you.
You know what? I just remembered what my question was.
What was your question?
I just remember what my question was. Okay, so what do you do with the toxic guy that is his toxicity is basically like forgiveness? And when I say forgiveness, I mean like you're supposed to forgive somebody and let it go. You know what I'm saying? What do you do with the toxic person that, you know, you apologize, they forgive you, and then every time y'all have an issue, it gets brought back up? Because that's a toxic trait. What do you do with that? And even more importantly, what do you do with it, especially when the guy is saved, a believer? Because that person especially should be somewhere different.
Again, it's part of growth and something that they have to desire to do to change, you know, at the end of the day. I don't necessarily see that as being, I don't necessarily know if I would call it a toxic trait. Is just, you know, a bad characteristic or something. I mean, to me, you know, toxic trait can be, it's usually something that you do that's kind of petty or you know, hurtful, but not overtly done in that way. You know, I think, you know, you deal with someone who has unforgiveness or doesn't let stuff go. That's a little different than, I think, necessarily being a toxic trait. I mean, I guess you could say, you know, it's like the meme say, my toxic trait is X, right? And they kind of explain what it is they do, right? Mm-hmm. You know, like my toxic trait is taking my wife to a high-end store and not buying her anything.
No, that would be your divorce trait.
I'm just giving you an example.
You know what my toxic trait is?
What's your toxic trait?
My toxic trait is being pissed that nobody helps me around the house, but then don't like how people help me around the house. and being pissed about how they help me around the house.
That's a toxic trait. There
That's
you
my
go.
toxic trait.
That's a toxic trait. Yes.
Like that. Like I be pissed that I don't get help, but then I be pissed about the help I get because I don't like how y'all do it. Like that's my toxic trait.
That's a toxic trait. Yes.
That's probably a mom trait.
Like, so our producer just said that that's a mom trait. So does all moms have that same toxic trait? Like you being there mad as hell, like, so y'all just ain't gonna help me clean this motherfucking house, huh? So I'ma just do it myself, huh? I'ma just do it myself. Then all y'all get up and y'all start cleaning the house, and you being that boy like, so y'all just gonna half-ass clean the house, huh? So y'all not gonna wipe that table down. You know what? Forget it. I'll do it myself.
And they all look at you like, why did you do it the first time instead of complaining about it?
So is that a toxic trait or is that a mom trait?
That is definitely.
Or is all moms officially toxic?
At the root core of it, yes, it is a toxic trait.
But you know what it reminds me of? You ever seen the movie Bad Moms, and it was a part with Wanda Sykes, and she was like, and then you wonder what's wrong with your mama, you motherfucker.
Yes.
You you why she crazy as hell. Like seriously, like if all moms are toxic, it's y'all fault.
Yeah. So I'll say like my toxic trait will be, and I do this sometimes, is I'll invite people to something I really don't want them to come to, but I give them a courtesy invite.
Oh, see, I don't have that toxic trait.
So,
I'm going to tell you what my toxic trait is. My toxic trait is accepting an invite to something I really don't want to go to. I be mad as hell when I get there. I be sitting there going, why did I say I was going to do this shit? I don't even want to be like, that's my toxic trait. Saying
However,
I will go accepting an invite and don't want to be there.
However, I will say when it's events for both of us and you say yes to it, but you don't want to go, we usually do wind up having fun though.
Listen, because I've learned to just put on a good face. I don't mean I had fun. I just put on a good face and got through it. Like, it used to be a time where I would just act an ass and don't want to be there, and you could see it on my face. Like, I've matured, so I've learned to put on a good face and get through it. But that's definitely my toxic trait. My other toxic trait would be saying yes to a favor I don't really want to do. That's another toxic trait I have. Like, somebody be like, Robbie, could you do X, Y, and Z for me? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll do that. And then, like, when it's time for me to do it, I'll be like, fuck. I want to feel like this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm annoyed as hell because I really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But, like, really, like, the truth of the matter is the reason that's my toxic trait is because the truth about me is I don't really want to be around people. Maybe that's a toxic trait. Is that a toxic trait? That I don't really like being around people.
Being an introvert.
Like, I'm an extreme introvert. I could sit at home all day and be just fine. Like, just fine.
I mean, I guess because, I mean, the opposite of somebody who's an extrovert and always needs people around them, right? And they got to have somebody with them. They can't just be by themselves. You know?
That's weird to me.
So.
You're a weirdo. If you always need somebody around you, you always need people talking to you, you always need something talking to you, that's weird as shit to me. I think that's a toxic trait.
Well, I just said that.
I think a toxic
could be a toxic trait too.
If you can't sit in silence, you might be toxic. You are toxic. Like, if you can't be in silence, you're toxic. That's weird. Why can you not sit in silence? What are you afraid of? Are you scared of your own thoughts? Like, what are you afraid of? What are you scared that your mind is going to do if you're silent? That's a toxic trait to me. That is a red flag, if nothing else. Like, why are you scared to be alone with your thoughts? Like, that's toxic to me. But it's because, you know, I could be overstimulated too. Like, I'm a mom that can be overstimulated, and that's weird because I don't know if there's other moms out there listening to us that has the same problem. And this is a confession because as a mom, you feel so bad about it. But I can't be the only mom that feels this way. I can be overstimulated. And when you're a mom and can be overstimulated, you kind of feel like crap. they naturally want to touch and hug and be around you and stuff like that. But I can become overstimulated. So I literally can get to a point that I'm just like, oh my God, please stop touching me. Like, get out my room. Just stop. And then I get to a point where I feel really bad.
See, as a dad, I think it's kind of the opposite. Because if you have a kid that's not normally, affectionate physically and stuff, and all of a sudden they just want to do it, then it's kind of awkward to me, But if you have a kid that's always wanting to be held or hugged and stuff, then, you're used to it.
See, but as a mom, they always want to be up under you.
Yeah.
Y'all the ones that get the occasional holding. They always want to be up under us.
Yeah. Or Tori is good with when she's done stuff, she knows she's been in trouble or I'm not the happiest with her. Then she'll be like, oh, give me a kiss, Dad. Wanted to kiss me and stuff.
Nah, she hit me with the, are we still best friends? Are we still best friends?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's a toxic trait.
Mm-hmm.
I think, But, if I had to point out my own toxic traits, that would be my own toxic traits. Last weekend, my husband tried not to bad, and I wouldn't let him not bad, but I bought us a new doormat for our front door. And the new doormat at our front door says, welcome. And then it says, just kidding, go home.
I forgot I bought that. It's out in front of the door
It's
now?
out in front of the door.
What did you do with the old one?
I threw it away.
Oh.
So that's what my front door doormat says. And everybody looks at it and be like, he, that's so funny. I'm serious. No, I'm just kidding. Go home. Why are you here? I am horrible at, yeah, come over. Let's kick it. I don't really want that.
See, I guess I legitimately usually do that. I will say there was one time I did invite a couple people over and they all couldn't make it. And I was like, it just turned out that day for me was just better that nobody came over because I didn't have to entertain or do anything. So,
see, the problem I have with when you invite people over is that you're not the one that's preparing for your entertainment. You might have to entertain if it's your company, but you're not the one that's preparing for that entertainment. So you got to remember, I got mild OCD, and
that's your issue, not mine.
I'm mild ADHD. So the moment I hear somebody coming over my house,
if I tell people, hey, we're just gonna cook out in the backyard, bring what you want to drink or whatever, we're gonna sit and chill in the backyard.
That's not how that works for me.
Well, that's not how it works for you, but I didn't involve you in it.
That's not how that works.
That's your issue.
If you come into my house, bringing something is optional, but everything you need is already there.
Well, say you never did a guys get together or whatever. That's the difference, You just have the fellas come over.
You know how you always say that if our mortgage don't get paid and we get put out our house, ain't nobody looking at me, they're looking at you. You know how you always say that?
Yes.
I need you to understand the same rules apply for if someone comes to our home and we don't have fucking toilet paper or paper towel or something to drink or food or some shit like that. Ain't nobody looking at you. It's me. I'm the problem now. This bitch don't even go shopping. She ain't got no groceries. This motherfucker ain't got no paper towel. I am the problem. So if we get put out this motherfucker, you the problem. But if anything else in this joint go wrong, if we don't have something, if something missing, anything else. Now, if the house itself, you're the problem. Anything that has to do with the house, it's me. All my fault. All of it. Mm-hmm. If it's not clean, forget the fact that there's 3 other people live here. But if it's not clean, I'm nasty. Not y'all nasty. I'm nasty. Ladies, I need y'all really in the comments and tell him that this is true. If the house is nasty, it's not Vaughn, Robin, and them kids nasty. No, Robin is nasty. If we ain't got no food, it's not Vaughn and Robin ain't got no food in that house. It's Robin trifling as hell. Ain't no food in that house. If we ain't got no tissue and paper towel, it ain't Robin and Vaughn ain't got no tissue and paper towel. That's trifling as shit. No, it's Robin trifling as hell. She ain't been to Sam's Club. If it has to do with the house itself, it's you. But anything else about the house, it's on me. So while you inviting people over and you like, oh, bring what you want and blah, 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 blah. And you over here with this delusion that, no, I told them to bring it. And okay, that's fine. But if they don't and the shit not here, it's not on you. It's on me. They gonna leave that motherfucker like, I went to Von house yesterday and that trifling ass wife of his ain't even had no motherfucking vodka. How you gonna invite a motherfucker over? Didn't he tell you to bring your own? I know that's what he said, but bitch, you knew he was having company. I'm telling you how the conversation go.
See, my friends would bring, if I said it's BYOB, they'd BYOB.
Sir.
I'm just saying.
The moment one of them bring they tack head ass, raggedy weave ass women with them.
See, but nobody told them to bring they women with them. I'm
Fine.
talking about if I just invite the fellas over to come over and
Fine.
chill.
Fine. I accepted it and understood it when you said that if our mortgage don't get paid and we get put out our house, don't nobody look at her and say she dropped the ball and she ain't shit. They look at me because you're absolutely right. And I get that. They looking at you like Von got them out on the street. Because you are the man of the house. You are the provider. It is on you. So I need you to understand that same rule apply when it comes to any goddamn thing else in this house.
I think you only got one person who agreed with your statement. But I will say, in my defense, that I've had that statement made from two different people at two different times. And you were with me when one of them made that statement.
Which statement?
About, if you get put out your house, the mortgage don't get paid. They're looking at Vaughn as the man of the house.
But listen, that's what I'm telling you that I agree.
No, I'm just saying.
I agree. But what I'm also telling you is that when it has to do with anything else, I'm telling you, Vaughn, telling you right now.
If I invite people over for dinner and it's one piece of corn with butter on it and 2 pieces of chicken, then yes, they're going to look at you like, oh, she didn't cook no dinner, even though I might have invited them over. Okay, I get that. But I'm saying, like, if I tell the guys come over and they want to smoke cigars and, just kick it in the backyard or something, we're not asking for nothing extravagant. We're not involving you in anything.
Fine.
We might be waiting for them to show up and figure out we're going to order pizza or ribs,
Fine. Listen to me.
See, that's why I got to do this stuff in secret. And it was like, oh my, I didn't know they were coming over.
Listen to me.
How did all the cues show up?
You know what? I almost said something and I can't say it out loud because it's not, I can't get the defense that I want in a courtroom if I say it on camera. Anyway, what I'm telling you is if somebody come over our house and the house ain't clean. Now, don't get me wrong. My house ain't never nasty. But I do have 2 small children. So this motherfucker can be in chaos.
Oh, it's in chaos right now.
It's in chaos at this moment.
I heard them screaming. One of them was screaming for you.
We're going to walk out this studio and I'm telling you, it's going to be shit everywhere. My point is, if we had company right now, they walk in, it's not Vaughn ain't clean that house. It's Robin got them letting them kids do whatever they want to and didn't clean that house. It's not you. It's me.
Okay, I get that, but you're interjecting yourself into something completely different. I'm not saying they're coming inside the house. I'm saying if I invite people over to come hang out in the backyard and kick it, that's it.
So Stephanie's toxic trait is she can't stand when somebody is in a relationship and then they have a breakup. And then 3 weeks later, they say they got a new boo or they in love. Like how?
Because they were already seeing them 4 weeks before the breakup. That's how.
Well, yeah. Listen. When you got a pinch hitter, then that can happen. You got somebody already warming up in the batter's box. When this person strike out, then you can bring your next batter in. It's the whole point of having a battery warming up. Just okay. Never mind. Maybe I don't like baseball. Never mind. But we also have a comment that says it's the woman that gets talked about bad. I'm saying is you don't. Yep, that's what I said. Your ass been cheating. Wait, we was talking about somebody in particular. I'll call you later. I'm gonna call you later because now I need the tea.
I don't think she was. She's just responding to my comment in general.
Because she said, yep, that's what I said. Your ass been cheating. I'll call you when we finish the show because I need the tea. All right, thank y'all for watching Just Our Opinion. We'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.
Deuces.